I wanted to share some of my thoughts with a new set of ear hooks that I picked up for my IEMs. It's the IFI Go. Um, they're the latest right now, and they pretty much do it all. I would say they're my replacement. Not that I'm throwing things away, but why don't I back it up a little bit? So ear hooks have been around for IEMs for a while. One of the first ones I owned was the Ibasso. Then I moved to the FIO, which was the FIO 3 UTSW something or other. It's exactly like this one, only this is the 5. So it started with this, then it went to this, and then I've gone to that. What's the difference? A lot of people would say, "Oh, well, it's sound quality and higher transmission rates, better connectivity." Yes to all that, but not really. Sound quality has always been great. Connectivity has been great in most of my devices, with the exception of the FIO 3, which you don't see here because I get rid of it. Um, it had connectivity problems, at least mine did. At any rate, the problem is, um, well, I'll give you an example. So this is the Ibasso. It's a great product, beautiful product. Wonderful case, very pocketable, lid latches. You have small, minimalist ear hooks. They're set up right now with the FIO FD5, a single dynamic driver. Quite a sensitive earpiece, by the way, which is important because these do not have any power. So um, that was always the limitation, in my view, is or was the amount of power output that these had. So these specific ear hooks, which are lovely and I still like and still enjoy, and do not do LDAC or aptX HD, um, they don't have any power. If they had power, they'd be my go-to. Just because of the style, the fit, functionality, all of that, perfect. Don't have any power. At any rate, so that limits them to something like this, which is a single dynamic driver, and a very sensitive one too, by the way. Anyway, in case I miss it later on, I'm going to do all three right now. Form factor. This has the best form factor for pocketability, right? So if you want to talk pocketability, and that's important to me, this is pocketable. This is not. This has rubber feet. This is chunky and square. This has a latch. This has a magnetic closure. This will pop open. This may not. This is magnetic as well, though, right? So as far as pocketability goes, number one, number two, and number three. As far as elegance and form factor, number one, two, and three. As far as power and sound quality, top of the heap. All right, so very quickly, this is the FIO. It has, and this is the 5, not the 3. Great connectivity. Will drive a lot of IEMs. Not all IEMs though, but quite a few. You can get it in either the 2-pin or the MMCX. This is the MMCX. Has an app. Okay, the Ibasso does not have an app. It has an app if you like that. I like simplicity myself. Sometimes apps remove that simplicity factor. Anyway, equalizer. You can adjust the gain in the equalizer. Generally, I find that you're only adjusting the signal. Therefore, you are distorting your sound significantly. Use it sparingly, and I would suggest you monitor what it's doing to your sound if you use any of the gain from the EQ. And if you do, I'd recommend very little. At any rate, these are decent. Like I said, they check all the boxes for me except for power. You know, sound quality is great, functionality is good, I prefer the look of the Ibasso, but yeah, everything else is great. That is that. So this has LDAC. Whoop whoop. I was happy with the other as well, but they have power. Look at the display, right? So you've got your two LEDs, they'll time out. You've got your battery monitoring LEDs. They come on when you open the cover and they time out after a couple seconds as well. These, you got your two receivers and amps. You've got then your interchangeable ear hooks that you can use. So MMCX ear hook, and that's the 2-pin, right? So and they just swap out. They're really tight to start with, but that will loosen up. By the way, that's the Sennheiser IE600, as you can see. Anyone who owns it or is familiar with what I'm doing will get it. The majority of the audience may not. Sennheiser IE600s are not MMCX and will generally not fit directly onto an MMCX fitting. So normally what you'll end up using when you're putting something on like that is an adapter. And so this is an adapter which adapts between MMCX and the fitting on the Sennheisers. Don't need it, right? Pop it off, pop it out, hook them up, and away you go. What else do you need to know with these? Sound quality? Well, they sound like an IFI product, which is fantastic. There is no app, or at least I have not found it, although I have found reference to it. The references I found suggest that you are able to alter your, what's the right word, filters. So your roll-off filters, digital roll-off filters. But that is the extent of it from what I've read, and I can't even find it, although I haven't been too motivated since that's all it's doing for me. Plus, you know, I still have a Go Blue bulb, and when I was using bulbs, it was always my go-to bulb. And you know, I often thought, well, why is that? Well, the answer quite simply is simplicity. It was just simple. It just was there. You'd grab it and go. It didn't have an app. You know, it had a bass boost and space boost on the side of it, but that was it. Anyway, these are, if you can stomach the price, a buy. They're fantastic. They connect quickly. I wouldn't consider them pocketable. You pocket this and I think your case is going to disintegrate. This has a lot of hard edges and it doesn't have a positive latch, and I'm going to go out on a limb. You're going to break that top off if you consider that pocketable, unless you put it in a little pouch. What else do we need to know? For the power, I said these bridge the gap. These have the power that all the other ear hooks didn't. My measure of that is this IEM, which is the Tin Hi-Fi P1. It's a planar magnetic, and it can be power hungry. It's not the ultimate, but it is the most power hungry I have. If you've got something more power hungry than this, then I'm going to go out on a limb. You may need to plug it into an amp. I think that's about all I have to say about them. They're fantastic. They really bridge the gap. So basically all my IEMs are now wireless. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, click like and subscribe. Thanks.